In today's episode, we're talking about social media boundaries, why my boyfriend isn't coming on the podcast, my winter bucket list, and so much more. Let's catch up. Welcome to Human. It's your host, Jess, and I'm very excited for today's episode because I decided to do a catch-up style episode. I feel like there's a lot of random things I want to talk about, and yesterday I made the decision to not air an episode my boyfriend and I recorded together. Well, first of all, before I get into that, I got new equipment, and so I'm very excited. I am using a microphone that I'm holding, which is very different for me. Hopefully the sound quality is better. It's going to be a bit of a process to get a hang of the, new equipment, new sound quality, how to edit that. But I feel like a more professional podcaster, and I also can now record if my parents are being loud upstairs, if there's shit going on outside that's loud. Because before, when I was recording, I just didn't have an insulated space, and my microphone picked up literally everything, even if like the air conditioning or, wind was blowing. The microphone picked up on everything. So this one doesn't. So I'm excited for that. And this coming winter, I am working on kind of converting this room. I have a little room outside my bedroom that is kind of an office. I'm going to work on converting it into a bit of a podcast studio. My mom is going to help me repaint. I repainted my bedroom a couple of months ago, so it's just like repaint city in my basement, which is like not the funnest activity, but I'm so excited to have like hopefully a lot nicer of a background and be able to invite guests over to sit and record with me. So exciting changes are coming, and let's just talk about what's been going on. What are some of the epiphanies I've been having in my life? And the first one I'll get into is about my social media boundaries. I have really played around with social media boundaries for so long. I remember when I was in high school, I took a week off of all technology for a school assignment, and it was incredible. But like, that's just not the reality that we're able to live every day, is to just like not use technology. Obviously, there's so many wonderful benefits, and I am at this point where I am posting so much, and I'm really working on the podcast because I am graduating my undergrad degree in April of 2023. It's like really coming up kind of soon, and I am realizing I want to be putting the most effort I have into this because this is what I want to pursue when I graduate. This is what I want to continue. I want to do this for a fucking living. And so it's been really hard to like reorient my brain to be like, you shouldn't be putting all your effort into school like society tells you, if that's not what you're excited to pursue after. Like, my grades would be a lot more important if I was applying to a master's degree, which like, it's not out of the question, but for right now I'm not doing that. So I'm obviously like, I don't know, it's a whole thing to try to like go. It's so weird to go into an exam being like, I know I don't know a lot, and like I'm choosing willingly to not put the effort into to try to know more. But it's kind of exhilarating, and I feel like my actions are finally mirroring what I consciously have been aware of for honestly a long time at this point. So I feel like a lot more settled in that. And so with that, I'm trying to find social media boundaries so I am not burning myself out, so I can still have the inspiration to create and to put episodes out there and make fun TikToks that come from like my true beliefs and inner being. And to do that, you need quiet, and you need to be in your own thoughts, and you need to listen to yourself, and you can't be constantly consuming. So my new social media boundary is no socials, like no going on Instagram or TikTok or anything before 10 a.m. And now that we've actually had a time change and we have an extra hour, I'm waking up earlier, but like not really. My body's on the same circadian rhythm of waking up at the same time, but like time isn't real, and we just decided to fucking change the clocks, which is just ridiculous. If you ask me, who knows? Hopefully that's not going to be a thing forever. But because this is my thought process for this boundary, and I encourage you to kind of try and set one for yourself too. Like, I thought about trying to make one for before bed, but this is the tough thing, is that like every night before I go to sleep, like every evening looks different for me because I have school or work in the evening sometimes. I'm home and I'm going to a workout class and then I'm relaxing in the evening, or I'm like going out with friends, I'm getting a dinner or going to a party, or not at home. So I feel like nighttime phone boundaries are a little bit more challenging, but for me, morning phone boundaries are a lot easier. I don't charge my phone in my bedroom. I charge my phone outside of my bedroom, so it's not my alarm clock. I have a separate alarm clock. And I used to try not to touch my phone for like, let's say an hour after I wake up. But that's really difficult because sometimes I'm like, is my class canceled today? What time is my workout I booked for this morning? Did my boyfriend respond to this message that I need to know about right now? So putting it in terms of just your phone is really hard, and you can break it really often, and you can't really like be too mad at yourself for that. But social media is something that like you don't need to check as soon as you wake up. Like it's been said so many times, and I'm going to repeat it here, that like when you wake up, you are not meant to walk into a room of like 1,000 people. And when you wake up and you immediately go on your phone, that's what you're doing to yourself. You're picking up your phone and letting the opinions and the posts and all of that stuff affect you, and you're absorbed by all of these people's opinions. And actually, someone I know said to me one time, like, when I wake up in the morning, I try to create before I consume. So that's like writing a journal entry, or I don't know what else you would create in the morning, because honestly, I struggle to even journal in the morning because my mind is usually like, it takes me a while to wake up. But so those are my new kind of boundaries with social media, and those are really helping me stay calmer and move slower in the morning, because social media, as soon as I look at it, my brain just goes like haywire. It's like, blah, 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 okay, this is what the world is doing. And something I also wanted to mention that kind of ties into this is that when I scroll on social media for a long time, I really, really get into this comparison place, and it's really not good. It's not good at all. Let me tell you about my most recent social media comparison struggles. So I was scrolling through TikTok because so if you think about it, like sometimes I just want to scroll just to scroll, but other times I am doing it to avoid something. And so I was totally doing it to avoid something. I had hung it with a friend, but when you've like caught up with someone and so you're like super tired and mentally drained and need to like chill the fuck out. It was like that, but I wasn't really getting it. I was watching Love is Blind and I wasn't really getting the chillness from that. I don't know. It was getting boring to me. And so then I was avoiding the fact that I had an exam to study for that I really, really didn't want to study for. And so I was scrolling through TikTok, just choosing to not think about my problems or think about the things that I felt like I had to do but didn't want to do. Plot twist, I actually barely ended up studying for this exam. So like I'm practicing what I try and internally preach to myself. But if you are someone who cares about go off. Like don't take my advice if it's not suitable to you. Obviously that goes with everything. So I'm like avoiding the fact that I don't want to study for this exam, but I feel like I should study for this exam. And I'm like tying my self-worth to like how well I'm going to do on this exam, even though at the end of the day, if I pass, it's fine for my life personally. And I go into this rabbit hole and I see this like super, super hot gym girl who like her thighs are so muscular and her ass is huge and just like so toned and her body is so nice. And like she wears, the shorts that like they pull up their butts. I don't know how to do that. I don't think I have the shorts for that. I also don't know if I want to do that. I'm not a thong girl. I don't want things in my ass crack. But like she looks great. She looks so awesome. And then so of course I start to stalk, and then I think I even decided to follow her. And not only is she a gym girl and she's like super ripped and good looking, but she also has this like hairstyle and like she has her nose ring in, and she just has this like very cute look that like I want to look like that. So I like go into this comparison deep dark hole, and this is not the first time I've done this about specifically lift girls, like girls who go to the gym and they lift heavy weights. And like for a backstory, like in high school, I first got into exercising because my mom would do beach body workout videos, and it would be a lot of heavy weightlifting. And when I went on birth control when I was in high school, girls told me that I was going to gain weight because birth control supposedly makes you gain weight. And so that got to me, and I was like, no, fuck these bitches. I don't want to gain weight. And my mom is a very like good influence in terms of like just working out to make you feel good, and it was not about how I looked at all. I started working out with my mom in the mornings, and it made me feel really, really good. And to be honest, this was a time in my life when I was in a not good relationship, and so working out every morning, I think, helped me release a lot of like the stress that relationship put on me, and like I internalized. There was so much that went on in that relationship that I didn't talk about, that working out just helped me release it, and it made me feel really, really good about my body, and it was all weightlifting stuff. So I think now that I'm in my 20s, eventually I kind of fizzled out of doing those kind of workouts, and then I've gone into like doing yoga more, or like Zumba, or, you know, I do Aquafit now. I sound like a grandma, but I love Aquafit. And I still have this part of me that's like, why can't I lift weights? Why can't I enjoy lifting weights? Like, weightlifting girls are such fucking baddies, and like guys think it's so hot when girls lift weights. But if I don't enjoy lifting weights, why the fuck am I gonna go to the gym and force myself to lift weights? Like, genuinely, I mean, I think this might go away if I did a lot, but like I get anxiety and I get more in my head when I go to the gym and I try to listen to music and decide what I'm going to do as a workout. When I have to go and decide my workout, first of all, it's not going to be a hard workout. Second of all, I'm not going to do nearly as much as I would do if I was like with a fucking workout class. And third, I'm so uncomfortable with like how I look while I'm doing it, what music I'm listening to. I don't want to pick the music I'm listening to, and then all these people are there, and then they think I'm weird, and then they think I don't know what I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing, and then it's like this whole fucking situation that I literally would put myself in. And I haven't done it in a while. I used to do it in first year university. I would go to the gym and like I got a bit more comfortable, but like this is why I work out. I work out to escape my daily stressors, to relieve my daily stressors. I work out to get out of my head. I did yoga yesterday and I realized that I like think about plans so much when I'm working out. And I'm like, Jess, be in your body, like be in the moment. You don't need to just like think about what you're doing next week or the next time you're going to go visit your boyfriend at university, or if you're going to study with that friend this Thursday. Like, be present. And so when I go in the gym and would just like lift weights alone, that like heightens my stress and anxiety. And like, if that's not the case for you, I'm so glad. Keep doing what you're doing. But this could be applicable to you if you're like someone who tried to force yourself to go running. Again, I don't like to run. I just think about when it's going to be over the entire time. So my point here is, why do the thing that you feel like you quote unquote should do when it's not the thing you enjoy? So on the flip side of that, I know I love fucking yoga. I love yoga. And it feels so weird to say that because I used to hate yoga. Hate it. I like couldn't get into it. I just waited for it to be over. It was just so hard to move slowly. My brain was just too fast for it. But like that's why I needed it so much. And I got past that initial hump, and now it took me a long time to get past that initial like hump of not really enjoying it. But now I'm so into it and I feel connected to my body when I do it. And the same with Zumba. I feel like I'm just dancing at a freaking club, and I need to do workout classes because the teacher tells me what to do. You get like all the energy of the people around you. It's infectious. It comes into your own body and you feel like a part of a community, even if you talk to 0 people. I talk to 0 people when I go to the gym, and I still feel a part of that community. I still feel like connected to the teacher. That's not true. I always thank the teacher before I leave, so I do say 2 words. Okay? My biggest point with this entire thing is that there is no such thing as a right or wrong way to do something. As we are going into this winter season, which I will talk even further about in this episode, hopefully, probably. As we are going into this winter season, we need to acknowledge that like different seasons bring different things. You need different things in different seasons. Like maybe the summer was probably social hour, and now it's winter and you want to hibernate a bit more. I am accepting that like I loved doing morning workouts when I was a part of my gym a year ago. It was the first time I ever had my gym membership, and I would go to the 9:30 a.m. like Pilates workout, body balance workout, yoga workout, Zumba workout. And this season, since September, I've been trying to force myself to go to those same 9:30 workouts, and I always thought I hated evening workouts because I always debated not going. If it was in the evening, I'd be like, oh, well, should I go? I could still cancel. And so I thought I was the same way. But no, listen, we change over time. So for me, now I am like, I hate going to these 9:30 a.m. workouts. I wake up at like 9 or 8:30, and I don't want to just like jump out of bed, eat breakfast quickly, put on my workout clothes and go. Like, that's not enjoyable to me. So now I'm starting to accept the fact that like, okay, I'm in a different season right now of my life. There are 10:45 a.m. workouts. There are 5 p.m. workouts. There are 6:30, 7:30 p.m. workouts. Why am I not exploring those? And similarly to like how I would try and force myself to like go to the gym and lift weights, right now I'm not really enjoying the like very intense Pilates workouts that I used to like. Right now I am craving yoga. I'm craving this body balance. I'm craving like mostly stretching and yoga poses with a little bit of ab workout. And I'm down to go in the pool and do some freaking aquafit. Love that. So if that's what I'm needing and I'm craving and my body is telling me, like, listen to your body. Are you in a bad mood every time you're having to go to something? Are you like dreading it every time you have to like do this certain thing that you're trying to get yourself to do because you think it's fucking quote unquote good for you? If you are dreading it, I mean, okay, if you're dreading it and you walk away and you're like, that was amazing. Okay, you push past that sometimes and like keep doing what you're doing. But other times I would like try and push myself so much to go to this workout, and then afterwards I'd be like, okay, like I did it, like time to move on with my day. Or I'd do it and then I'd like go home and I'd be so fucking tired and I wouldn't be able to like do anything for the rest of the day that I needed to get done, like fucking podcast or schoolwork. And so that's my goddamn sign to be like, okay, this isn't working. What's better? What's better is like going to yoga at 7:30 and then getting to come home and chillax and have a snack and go to bed. That's what I did last night and it felt so good to me. Also, try new things, because last night I've literally never done this. I've always worn contacts for my workouts because I wear glasses and I need them to see. And so I'd always wear contacts for my workouts so I could see the person properly, because I didn't want to sweat in my glasses, and like wearing glasses would be annoying to adjust them when I work out. But last night I was like, I'd been downtown all day. I'd been wearing contacts all day. I was like, these hurt my eyes. I need to take them out. Like, maybe I'll put them in before I go to my yoga class. And I didn't. I just wore my glasses. I took my glasses off and I did yoga without my glasses on. So I could not see the instructor crystal clear. Not at all. But that means I also couldn't even see the people around me crystal clear. I could see the movements enough to know what the instructor was doing. I've also done yoga enough that I like really know what the cues mean. Like everything she was telling us to do, I could just follow along from that. And listen, I got so into my body. I was so connected with myself, and for the first time, I also like set an intention before the workout to like, it was the full moon. I wanted to like release anything that came up that I needed to release, and some things did. I was focusing on that, and I was like, I wasn't focused on when the workout was going to be over, because I do that a lot, and I wasn't thinking about my plans. I thought about plans a little bit actually, but I was able to like stop paying attention to the people around me, not give as many fucks about what they were doing, and like tune into myself. And when you work out and you exercise, that's the whole point, in my opinion. The point is to do something good for your body, to make you feel good, to help you release stress, and to like tune into yourself. Fuck all the other people. And going back to like lifting weights in the gym, we all make so many fucking decisions in our day. So many. There's such thing as decision fatigue, where you're literally just like so fucking tired of making decisions that like you just stop making decisions altogether, which is a decision in itself. And so for me, like I really struggle to like pick music that I like to listen to. Like I don't have playlists really. I used to do this. I miss doing this. I don't know why I've been so out of it, but like I'll just listen to the Taylor Swift album over and over again. You know what I mean? And so now I'm like, I don't want to go to a workout and have to pick the music. and I've done it where I'm lifting weights and I'm just like skip song. And I've been like I've really tried to force myself to do it, and it's just not my jam. So the moral of this story is, do what feels good for you. And there's no such thing as a should or shouldn't. And another way this is applied to my life right now is in terms of decorating. I have always said to myself, I've not always said this to myself, but I just feel like I'm really bad at decorating. And I'm like, so, I don't know, I'm very artistic, I'm very creative, but I don't have a good like eye for design. And I was so hard on myself being like, okay, well, I want to like design a little bit of an at-home podcast studio. I need my friends' opinions or else I literally can't even do this. Listen, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. I hung out with an old friend recently, a childhood friend, and she was so fucking cute and sweet. And we got coffee and the coffee shop was close to her place where she lives, and she lives alone with a cat. And she was like, can I come? Can I give you a house tour? Can I give you a tour of my place? I was like, what? Oh, sure. Okay. And I totally get why, like, she said everyone she, like, knows who, like, is near her home that she's close with, she's like, come see my home. Because she has put so much work into creating this beautiful space that she loves. And it's not a Pinterest fucking perfect looking architectural design home. It is colorful. It is artistic. It is full of every piece that's in there. She has a story behind it. It was a painting that she made. It was a piece of furniture her parents saved for her. It was like a carpet she found at a sale. It was like the most colorful, fun, funky, lively space I've ever seen. And I realized she just said like, oh, I just like slowly started like decorating with things that I loved and like things that just like made me really happy. She's like, I never intended for this space to be like so colorful and funky. And she was like, my Pinterest board was all the like beige and gray and white and like perfect looking furniture, and that's not fucking realistic. That's not joyful. Yeah, it's joyful if you're having a perfectionist mindset where you want your home to look literally like straight out of a goddamn magazine, but like that's not life. Life is the fact that like right now I'm looking at this bed in this office and there's stuff all over it, because like that's what happens. We're people, we exist, we take up space. And I thought to myself, wow, I've been so hard on myself that I am quote unquote bad at design when I'm not. If I design a space, if I just like, it's not about having the perfect plan either. The space will slowly come together as you think, that might look good on that wall. Oh, I just picked up this piece. Let's put that over there. And you make it personal. It's about my space looking like me. It's about my podcast studio looking human to human AF. And you know what human to human AF is? It is Jess. So I really challenge you to like listen to your thought processes and like get out of your comfort zone and hang out with people that maybe you haven't seen in a while, and catch up with friends that like you get a little nervous to go see, because I hadn't hung out with this friend in years. I've hung out with her in group settings a little bit in the past year, but like not a one-on-one. And so for me, I got a little bit nervous and I walked away from it, and I felt so inspired in a creative way, in a career way, and it was really fulfilling, and it really, really, really challenged this mindset that I had been stuck in of like, this is how things should be. No, bitch, I decide how things should be. I feel like these episodes are so fun. Also, if you think there's more energy to this, I don't know. I feel so much better just holding a microphone. I feel like free to move around and exist in the world, and I just feel like so much more expressive, so much more myself, which is so much fun. I'm going to only talk about one more. Oh, but I want to talk about the winter bucket list. I think I might do one more catch-up episode. Maybe this is just like a new style of episode where it's just like things that have been on my mind lately, let's just discuss. But I want to talk about like how the winter season's really fucking hard and how we need to like force ourselves to get out of our house. And well, this is me talking about the winter bucket list. Like that's what it's about. It's about like getting yourself out of your house, getting yourself out of your head, getting yourself out of your stress of your daily life, and forcing yourself to like do stuff to fill your cup. It's about like, it's a whole psychology thing, like doing an action in opposition of your emotion. 'Cause like a lot of times our emotions, well, all the time, our emotions can be changed or our moods can be changed. And so in the winter, we can feel very like tired and lazy and lethargic and whatever. Not lazy. I don't believe in the word lazy. But again, it's a hibernation time. So like honor yourself and have a lot more like chill time if that's what you feel called to. But then at the same time, like for me, if I'm not like content during my chill time and I'm like feeling shitty about myself, like that's when I need to do something different to fill my cup, whether it's like decorating my space or deciding to go on a walk with a family member or choosing to like go do something fun. I created the Winter Bucketlist so that it would encourage me to put myself out of my comfort zone and do things that inevitably will make me feel joyful and then make me feel 10 times better when I get to go home and lay in my bed and be like, I went out of the house, did something fun, and now I get to come back to my bed and lay here for a couple hours now. So follow along on Instagram and TikTok at HumanToHumanPod. I'm posting a ton about that and having a lot of fun doing it. And I hope it just encourages you to like get out of the winter blues when you feel stuck in them. Seasonal depression is so real. So like, let's try and get sunlight on our faces when it's out, when there's that daylight, because it's ending so early in the day. To close off this episode, I will talk about why I'm not having my boyfriend on my podcast. I talked on Instagram, or I posted on my story, posting like a Q&A and posting that him and I were going to do an episode together. And we have recorded 2 episodes. One was like super fun for jokes, and another was like us trying to actually do an episode. And one, I found it fun, but very hard to get into and challenging in some ways because he is, okay, my whole body just like, whenever I talk about this and think about this, it tells me what's going on, and I'll just jump to that. Because he's my person, and we have a very close relationship, and he is someone who knows me really, really, really well. I would say I think he knows me better than anybody else on a very like vulnerable, deep personal level. I have a few other people who do know me really, really well, but like my relationship with him feels very sacred, and it feels, and I didn't fucking realize it feels sacred until I was like gonna post a whole episode with him and me and our dialogue and his voice and how I am with him and how we are together, and my whole body is like no, and it's like, keep it for you. And kind of tying into the boundaries with social media, back to the beginning of this episode, I share a lot of my life on Human to Human Pod Instagram, and I share stuff about our relationship, and I talk about our relationship on the podcast. And so for me, bringing him on is too much. I want to keep that for myself, and I think it's really cool and exciting to see how my boundaries are evolving with the podcast and with Instagram and everything as I get more serious about it. I've never kind of been like this committed and this ready to like take this on as seriously as I am right now. And so with that comes a new layer of serious boundaries and like understanding and listening to my body of like what feels right and what doesn't. And when I was editing the episode, I was like, no, like this just doesn't feel right. And he's so excited about recording episodes, and like I came back to myself and I was like, okay, first of all, him and I can record episodes literally just for fun, just to jam out together and have fun conversations. They don't need to be posted, which I think I forget that. I forget that this is also something that like I can just do and never release. I just get so into like produce and, you know, release the episode mode. It made me realize that like there are parts of my life I am going to keep to myself and keep private, and that is one of them. And I want you guys to know that everything I end up talking about on here, so much of it is influenced by him. It's either my own thoughts that I share with him, it's, you know, ideas that he's contributed. A few other things I want to talk about on my next catch-up episode are things that he's told me about and things that he's learned from books and ideas that he's had and things that he's thought about. And so oh my God, this is so emotional. He is in so much of my podcast just through my relationship with him and his presence in my life. And with that, you already know a lot about him. And you already basically know him in some ways because of how I know him. And that's enough. You don't need, I literally feel like being like, he's mine, and I'm going to keep him as mine. In the most like healthy boundary way. Like this is a healthy boundary I'm setting, to just like, you know, keep my relationship in a place, where, you know, it belongs. I'm just so excited to keep pursuing this podcast, to really keep creating and showing up for you. I'm so glad I invested in myself and bought this new equipment. It feels like a really big upgrade for the podcast. And I think there's just so far to go that I'm going to take this. And I hope you love the show. I hope you love what I share. I hope you love and respect the fact that I am keeping my relationship. I'm keeping parts of it for myself. Yeah, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this catch-up style episode, please let me know. Subscribe. I'm not on YouTube. Download, subscribe, or follow. Hit the bell so you're notified, because there's still a bell on Spotify. And please leave an Apple review if you like the show. I really want it to reach more people because I want it to help more people. And make sure you're following me on the socials at Human Pod. And I will see you so soon, hopefully, for another episode.